Diadit, agus falchugo di Terra Incogweirdo mokarjas. Hello and welcome to Terra Incogweirdo, my friends. Thank you for joining me today for a trip to the Haring Cemetery, which is located in Lane County, Oregon, outside of the town of Florence. It's pretty easy to get to. Coming from Eugene, you take Oregon 126, and right after you cross the river, the north branch of the Siasla, you take a right onto North Fork Road, and the Haring Cemetery is 4.7 miles up on your left-hand side. You can also access it off of Interstate 101, which is the highway that runs along the Pacific coast all up and down Oregon, as well as California and Washington. If you turn off of Route 101 onto Route 126 in Florence, from that direction, you would take a left onto North Fork Road right before you get to the bridge that crosses over the North Fork of the Siasla, and the Siasla River proper is very visible, will be very visible on your right hand side. So you will be able to tell the difference there. But of course, you know, we couldn't take the easy way. So we took the back way. From Junction City, we took Oregon Route 36, quite a way. It took almost an hour to get to this spot in Brickerville. When it's too hot in the Willamette Valley and it's too cold out on the Pacific coast, Brickerville is the sweet spot where the weather is always beautiful. So here is a photo looking west from the intersection of Oregon 36 and the North Fork of Siasla Road. It's really kind of confusing. When you're coming from the other direction, from Mapleton, you cannot see the sign for the Pioneer Trail that is showing on the left in this picture, so you can't really see that. So you better have your mapping program on so that you don't go by the North Fork of Siasla Road. But from the direction that we came, and now we're looking west towards Mapleton, and Junction City is behind us to the east, it was pretty clear where this intersection was. So Mapleton is straight ahead of you on Oregon 36. Junction City would be behind you going east, and right up here over these railroad tracks is the North Fork of the Siasla Road. Okay, so when you get to the top of the mountain, it's a little bit confusing if you don't have an off-road mapping program. You come to this intersection of logging roads, and of course, there's no signs up here. You just got to know where you're going. Go to your right, people, or get lost. Those are your choices. Okay, I wanted you guys to see what it's like coming down one of these logging roads. Here, I'll turn my sound up for you so you can hear. It was like, we've had a very rainy spring, so it was like a washerboard. Very sharp switchback curves, very steep, and you better have yourself an off-road vehicle if you're gonna come this way. But highly recommended. My husband and I, we love the off-roading, and as you can see, we have a Jeep and we are prepared for all off-road eventualities. So after you go over the mountain on logging roads, you come to the Pioneer Trailhead. Now, eventually I will be bringing you a video of this trailhead because it's very cool. Has placards along the way which describe some of the families that lived out here in this remote area in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, and some of the things that they came up against in trying to live out here as pioneers. It's really cool. And so look for that video in the future. This little creek here is called McLeod Creek, and it runs right by the Pioneer Trailhead. The Sileslaw River watersheds, the main branch and the North Fork, are designated salmon spawning preserves, as are most of the rivers that flow out of the coastal mountain range and into the Pacific. And we here in Oregon are very serious about the health and welfare of our salmon. And so every time you cross over a little stream, you will often see one of these signs designating the culvert as safe salmon passage. Okay, so here we're coming off of the North Fork of the Sileslaw Road, which is, this is the where it turns to pavement after going over the mountain on a logging road. This road in front of us here is also called this is called North Fork Road. If you go to the right, it turns into another crazy logging road where you will get lost if you do not have an off-road mapping program. To the left, it is 12 miles south into Florence and Route 126. And yes, along the way, you are going to run into wildlife indeed. Nice little buck there. Okay, speaking of wildlife, we came around the corner and this elk herd was off in a field. They're very interested in me. See the buck right there on the left? Now, if he had started pacing towards me, I had zoomed in for this shot. I'm a lot further away than I appear. If he had started pacing towards me and not, and that's actually the main buck there on the right. So if those guys had seemed interested in me and had started coming towards me, even though I was about 10 feet up off the hill with this briar patch and a fence between me, I would have skedaddled it right on back into my car, because people, you do not want to get around elk. They will stomp you down into the ground and end your life. So be careful. They're beautiful, but watch them cautiously from a distance. Oh, and also realize that the bulls often hide in the tree line while their little harem is grazing out in the field. So be careful about getting yourself in between a bull and its harem. All right, well, this is the lovely river valley of the North Branch of the Sileslaw, North Fork of the Sileslaw. And this is it's just truly a beautiful, beautiful valley. It's gorgeous. This is a photo of the North Fork of the Sileslaw looking north. And here is a photo of it looking south. And finally and at last, we've come to the Haring Pioneer Cemetery, which is right off the road, and there is parking right in front of it. And do be careful, because monuments can fall and squash you and end you, so that you yourself will be 8 feet below the ground in Haring Cemetery. Okay, so like the Deadwood Cemetery that I posted a video on the other day, and I'm going to a couple cemeteries for you all. This is also an Oregon Historic Cemetery. I really dig that. We have a lot of really old cemeteries in this state. It's cool. And by really old, I mean by the United States standards. You can't judge age like something that we would call old in the United States clearly is only going to be a couple 100 years old, not like Europe. So this is a parking area right off the North Fork Road. Okay, and now I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy as I took this little video just walking around the cemetery, give you an idea of what it looks like. All the graves are clearly marked. If you want to pause and read everybody's names, it's a lovely day. Oh, and my birthday, by the way, the day I filmed this. Yeah, what do you do for your birthday? I go to cemeteries. I'm that kind of incogweirdo. I don't know about you guys, but I find cemeteries incredibly peaceful. And I know some people, knock on wood, have pick up hitchhiker spirits, and stuff in cemeteries, but I've been super lucky. I've never had any kind of experience like that with a cemetery. I've never had a paranormal experience in a cemetery. I just find them to be really beautiful and peaceful, and I love being in them. Yeah, you'll notice that people didn't tend to live very long lives out here, so very difficult life. This one's hand carved, baby Wilhelm. There was something on those tiny little markers. They're illegible now. That one had a little rock buried in front of it. I don't know if you noticed that. This tree was massive. Very cool. Spanish War. Check that out, people. Don't see that a bunch. Not in America, anyway. These are the original family, the Harings, who established this cemetery. Rachel Ione, dig that middle name. And this guy, somebody's put a stick across his grave, so somebody's thinking about him. Amos was the original pioneer in the area. If you noticed, born 1846, died 1909. Baby son. Like I said, lots of that in these old cemeteries. I really like this grave marker. It's kind of beautiful. These were all babies. This whole area. Sorry I'm going so fast. You can always pause to read them if you like. It's a lot of babies in this cemetery. Whew. Must have been rough. Whew, Lila. She almost lived to be 100. Go, girl. Okay, I think that was, no, coming up on the last few gravestones here. That one's hand carved. There you go. Okay. So here's just a few still photos that I took, and as you can see, there's somebody living right next to it. You know, Incogweirdos, how would you feel about living next to a cemetery? I think I would really enjoy it. But I am the Queen Empress of Incogweirdos. Let me know down in the comments below if you would enjoy living near a cemetery. It's just really lovely. I really like this marker. Henry Masters. Born November 1st, 1828. Died September 7th, 1894. I love the carving. Can you see the carving on it? The rose and this, and the embellishments on the sides. It's really cool. Tall trees. Nice place to rest. And here we are driving back down to Oregon 126 for the short ride home. And it's just a view of the North Fork of the Sayin River. It's very beautiful. Oh, and that's Bubble. Bubble wasn't supposed to be in here. Bubble is the cat, one of the cats of my friends who live in London, and they were having a heat wave, and they sent me this photo of how Bubble cools off because nobody in London has aircon. I don't know why. They just don't. Okay. Thanks for joining us today for that trip to the Haring Cemetery and the extra bonus of cute, sweet little Bubble. Little Bubble. She has a sister named Squeak, of course. Bubble and Squeak. They're awesome. So thanks for joining me today for the trip to Haring Cemetery. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And yes, be a weird magnet. And we will see you next time here on Terra Incogweirdo, the land where para is normal. Slango fall, you beautiful Incogweirdos. See you next time.